And welcome back to Money Mind. Governments in the US and Europe have pumped billions of dollars into banks in a bid to counter the global credit crunch. Now, Asian governments too have been working to boost liquidity in the markets. But some companies still say that they find it difficult to get loans. For more insights, Money Mind's Ng Bawing spoke to Professor Ismail Erturk, who's a banking and financial markets expert from the Manchester Business School, who's been studying the issue. She began by asking who's to blame for the financial crisis.
This is a structural problem. So it's not individuals, institutions, it's just a collective failure. The structural reasons lie in the way banks globally, especially US banks and European banks, have turned themselves into financial conglomerates with very opaque business models. We've seen likes of Citibank doing both retail banking and investment banking, and a type of investment banking where they take huge risks. And then obviously you have other actors. Since the crisis started, I don't think the authorities have realized the depth of the problem and the structural issues in the problem, and the kind of policies they promoted. They were trying to save individual banks, injecting lots of liquidity in the banking system, which I don't think were the right policy responses.
The Fed plans to expand liquidity by another $1.1 trillion. Do you think the next $1 trillion will gain any traction at all?
I think the first impact is yet another, a big injection by the government and taking off the bad assets off balance sheets of banks. But my question is, what will those banks do after those assets disappear from their balance sheets? They still have the same business models. I think they need to look at more holistic rescue package, not just taking off the bad assets, but also thinking about what kind of banks will survive afterwards, and then what kind of business models they're going to sort of develop. And secondly, the toxic assets that they're buying off banks. They haven't really announced a clear corporate governance scheme there. They talk about public-private partnership, but we don't know who those private investors are, whether they would be willing to buy those assets, and what will they do with them.
So a lot of money has been pumped into the system already. Do you think we're any nearer to seeing some kind of containment of this financial crisis?
Unfortunately not, and it's quite really worrying that so much money is pumped into taxpayers' money has been used, but I don't think it has been used wisely. We have a serious problem. It is solvable, but it needs to be done by looking at the structural reasons basically, we need to get rid of financial conglomerate models and bring in more transparent and easy to run business models into banking.